Welcome to The Vinyl Underground, presented by Crowd Control. This is Behind the Decks, your backstage pass to North Carolina's emerging electronic music scene. We're bringing you raw conversations, killer beats, and the untold stories of DJs shaping the underground. Plug in, vibe out, let's go.
Welcome back, party people, to the Behind the Decks podcast, where beats meet community. My name is Tony Technique, here with my man Tim Penner.
What up?
And today we have a very special guest.
Sure do.
An OG of the scene.
I mean, he sure is, man. It's an honor to have Marshall Jones with us. I've known him for a minute. Wish I knew him sooner because he's been doing cool shit for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
So we're grateful to have him.
Man about town, right?
Indeed. He's the hardest working guy, man, that I know.
Knows all the history about the scene.
He does. He's, his resume, all the things he's done locally before I knew him, all over the country, man. He's a special talent and brings a lot of great acts here.
Well, I'm anxious to see what he got to say, man.
Me too.
Without that, guys, let's get right into the show. Thank you, Marshall Jones, for joining us today on our podcast. Been a while since we wanted to really get you here, and I know we had some back and forth. We were like, maybe next month. All right, I'll come back to you. Finally had to reel you in and shit. I'm like, I'm gonna get my man in here. He's like, I'll be there.
I mean, it's life. Work, gigs, all that stuff. It's
everything gets in the way.
Yeah, life indeed.
Life happens. And that's what I tell people. I say, I might not, reply to you like today or tomorrow, maybe even the day after, but I'll get back.
Things are doing the things, and life is life, and so that's
how
I'm like,
concur.
You'll see me.
Yeah. And that's the thing, man. We're all grown men, and I know that you've been doing your thing for quite a while right now, and things happen, people get busy, and I know you've been doing your thing for quite a while. I know, as far as I can remember, Tim has mentioned you were doing parties back in Mosaic, in the Raleigh scene,
good era.
And but what let's know a little bit about Marshall, man. Well, how do you even got into DJing, man?
So growing up in Durham, what I'm saying, and going up top during the summers, coming back down, like I was always exposed to music, right? My parents, they always had big music collections. I distinctively remember being young, and like my dad, my mom, they had their like adult like hangout room. So it's like, the little bar, and it was like the card tables, and it was like, everybody goes there and hang out like we do now, right?
Yep.
And I just remember they would play music. My dad and my mom had like all these vinyl records and all these tapes and all these 8 tracks, and I would just sit there. And I remember covers of albums. Like, I definitely distinctly remember Rick James, like standing under that light post. I remember that. And so I just always was a music head. As I grew up, my sister and my brother worked for Def Jam for a while. So he was into hip hop real heavy, and also me, obviously. My sister, she was kind of like, whatever was clever. But I distinctly remember her watching Club MTV all the time. So Downtown Judy Brown, so y'all know what that is. For these young kids.
Shout out to the Gen X crowd.
Right.
Reality shows.
Yeah, right. So there was always this like, in the streets, hip hop, you got to be tough, yada, yada, yada. But I always knew other music. And like club music was kind of like, I saw videos, because Video Vibration on BET, Club MTV, so I would see these things. I remember when I first saw Jamiroquai, Space Cowboy, David Morales remix on the video. And I was like, oh, and then as I got older, like into my later teens, I remember MTV Grind. And the first season of that was David Morales. Before Scribble's whack self got on there, but that's a whole thing. So anyway, David Morales, I just remember him playing Bucketheads, and I was like, what is that? But again, I didn't understand. But all of a sudden, you know, you're late teens doing knucklehead things, and I want to stop doing knucklehead things with knucklehead people. So I was like, all right, well, you know, let me figure this out. So I was working at Durham Pizza, and this guy, he worked there for 1 week. His name's DJ Nugs. And shout out to my man
Nuggy.
Nugs. Yeah,
love that
shout
guy.
out to my man
What
Nugs.
a special guy.
He gave me a flyer, and he was like, yo, I think this will change your life. You should probably check it out one day.
Oh.
I was like, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, all right, cool, I'll take it. Whatever. You're that dude that's kind of like a little weird in the back, but whatever. Right? Well, sure enough, I'm graduating, you know, because I had to like do some extra classes. I had to go to night school because I was, you know, messing around and won't take things serious. And finally, night of graduating from high school, we was at the Marriott, and it was like Project Grad. And I'm like, I hate all these people in here. Why am I in here?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm going to go to the car. So I went to the car, and, you know, I opened up the glove compartment, and this thing just falls out. It was the flyer.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, Radiance, Wednesday night, Gotham, Chapel Hill. All right, let's go. What else am I going to do? That was the start. And so I went there. It was packed. Nobody cared who you were, right? Music thumping. I'm like, okay. So I was comfortable with that. A lot of that stuff I was hearing, I was like, yo, why do I recognize some of this stuff? And it's like, oh, I'm hearing the things that my friend showed me on MTV's AMP.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Maybe I should check this out more. So then every Wednesday I was there religiously.
Wow.
$4. Boom. It's packed on a Wednesday night every week. And when I say every week, I'm talking every week.
Damn.
Packed. 250 people to the brim.
Holy shit.
What
What was that year again?
That was like 99.
Damn.
Late 99.
Really?
And it was packed to the brim.
Oh, I wish I had known about that back then.
Like,
I was here.
It was wild. And, you know, so then there was like the LGBTQ night. And so the main DJ, who was the guy who organized a lot of stuff, Hot Wax Harley, he had like the LGBTQ night. So I started going to that because it was like they still playing club music. They're still banging, right? And playing like Bob Sinclair re-edits. And I'm like, yo.
Nice.
So I'm like, okay, something about this. Something's going on. Well, I used to be a B-boy. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to start hanging out Wednesday night. So I started breakdancing, hanging out. Before I know it, I made a group. Because that's how it goes, you know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, like, it's B-boys and B-girls. And next thing you know, that main DJ was like, I want you guys to promote for the club. We will pay your expenses to go and give out flyers. Okay, for the record, people, this is not Instagram days. We're not doing the whole, I just put it online. No, this was like, you got a box of 300.
Too easy nowadays.
Way too easy.
Stapled to a pole.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
to hit the road and get a road team.
yo, you got to get that box of 3,000 flyers.
Yeah.
You go hit every record store, every spot that sold rave clothes, whatever.
You know my man who's like, I'm gonna shout out my man Shampoo. I don't know if he's gonna watch this, but my man Shampoo, he works with Def
cool
Jam.
already.
He's like, yo, he's the street team guy for Def Jam and up in New York for the hip hop. That's how they used to do it.
That's it. That's how you
Shout out to DMC while on Def Jam.
I mean, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, because that's what you did. You got in that parking lot. If there was a big rave where it's like 1,000 people, you got in that parking lot. You flyer bombed. Let's go. You two take this wing. We take this wing.
awesome.
We meet back in the front.
Divide and conquer.
So that's what we did. But we also were all very good at like breakdancing.
Right.
So people started recognizing us because of the recognition of that club and that night. They had ties to one of the biggest promoters in the Southeast region called Liquefied Universe. So we would go to Tabernacle in Atlanta. We would go to the Nike Training Center. We would go down to the Charlotte Hornets Training Center when they were doing these parties called Flavor. It was just massive. And then we started going to Buzz, which was at Nations in D.C. And it's no longer there, but it was on Half Street. And then from there, we would like, you know, we'd be up all night. So we would leave Nations at like 5, and then we're going over to Baltimore for the Honeycomb parties, and that was Charles Feelgood. And so Scott Henry knew Charles, so we would get in for free. Whole thing, whole chaotic thing, right? But from there, I was like starting to get that itch. And I'm like, yeah, this this ain't doing it like it was. Like I want to start seeing what's the magic here. I understand turntablism and DJing because I grew up in the hip hop scene. I understand how prominent the DJ is. I understand who he is, you know, the significance of him or her. I understand that.
The selector.
Exactly. So I'm like, all right, let's do it. So I went to the guy and I was like, hey, I want to learn. He was like, okay, stick around. So started coming there, cleaning up the club before it starts. You got to pay your dues. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I would help clean the club. Didn't have a record bag. I bought a couple of records. I would carry them riding the bus. You know what I mean? And like, that was it.
They made you drag around the records around the spots?
No, it was just like, you know, I had my own, right? My own records, and I didn't have a bag, so I had like a stack, and that was it, you know?
Vinyls, when you had to carry the vinyl.
Yeah, when you had vinyl, you didn't leave them in the sun, you know? But through that, next thing you know, I started like getting the skills down pat, started working with different people in the area that were a part of the crew. And then lo and behold, one night there was this DJ that was booked and his name was Nugs.
Wow.
So
wow.
This is like a year later.
Circle back.
No way.
And then like he walks in and I'm like, and I was like, yo. And he's like, you made it.
Damn.
I've been waiting for you.
Nugs.
Yeah, man. This is when he was playing breaks, man. He was like the king around here for Florida breaks. Like you couldn't touch Nugs, bro.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And so and after that I started learning from him. And then Slipstream, who is like one of the best atmospheric drum and bass DJs, I would say, for me in the state. Right. He taught me some stuff. So I was learning how to figure out the beat matching, but I didn't know what I was going to play. Background, though, I was feeling this like just 4 to the floor. Like house is familiar, but I was like, I like that harder edge. And I was like, this is guy I listened to named Frankie Bones, you know what I'm saying, representing the BK. That's honing me, right? So I was like, all right, that's where I'm at. So I started like getting techno records. But then Howard's Harley was like, I'm playing in Atlanta. So this is around about 2000. This is probably like mid 2000. He was like, we got tickets to go. I'm playing at Liquefied Universe in Atlanta. You know, here's a flyer. So I tell all my friends, I'm like, oh my God, look, Josh Wink is playing. And that's my other dude. And I was like, we got to go. It's Josh Wink. You know what I mean? Like, so I go, lo and behold, I didn't know what was being set up. So Harley and them and Hypersonic, they love what I was doing. In Liquefied Universe, I knew some of them as I was doing some like small time promotions for them. I didn't know that they were setting me up to meet Josh Wink because Ovum at that time was talking about building a street team.
Right.
So we get to the venue, things are popping off, and they're like, all right, yo, like Harley's done with his set, let's go over here. So I'm like, all right, bet. So we go over there, main stage, Josh Wink's playing. It's about 1,000 people up in here. And like, they're like, yeah, just go over here. Just go over here. So I was like over there and I'm like right by the stage. And like Josh, this is when Profound Sounds Volume 1 was just like just coming out and bumping.
Yeah.
And like I never forget, like he was playing one of the tracks on there. It was DJ Dozier, God, what was that? DJ Dozier Pop Culture. And just the way he was doing it. And then like he looks up and he's like, and I'm like,
talking to me?
And he's like, so then he's like,
damn.
So I like got a little closer, and then like the person security was like, stand on the stair. He wants you to on the stair. And I was like, and he's like pointing, and he's pointing out there, and he's like, and I'm just like, dude, this is surreal right now. So after that, we go in the back, we're talking, and like, you know, everybody's in there, and like we're behind stage, and like there he is, and they all knew him from back, and I'm like freaking out, you know what I mean? Yeah. And he's like, hey, and I was like, hey. And he was like, what's your name? And I was like, I'm Marshall. He was like, I'm Josh, you know. And he just started talking, and he was like, hey, well, I'm gonna have my friend Mike reach out to you. We're putting together a street team with like interns, and you know, we want to try to get some music and flyers down in this area, get records to people. Is that something you want to be a part of? And I was like, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
And that propelled me to like start DJing and practicing more. And then that took off to me, start playing gigs around town and start building my name. So like that was ultimately the North Carolina start. And, just playing in like Chapel Hill, Wilmington, Greensboro, Charlotte, that was a start.
Yeah. And you were down in Orlando too. Did you get to play out there?
So, so around about 2002, I was like, okay, the Rave Act had already passed. If you don't know what the Rave Act is, do your homework. Mm-hmm. Do your homework. Like, I think there's a big problem with people.
Get your shit straight, right?
Yeah, get it right. Yeah. Like, I think there's a lot of people who just don't understand the history of why it's important to like study this music and study where it's been. But Rave Act passed. If you don't know, Rave Act was a Cinderella act that started in a lot of major metropolis cities because, at that time, 2020 and 60 Minutes and, your kids are ravers. Yeah, and like everybody was like, ecstasy, GHB, and people were dying.
Yep,
and
people were dying. Yep.
So next thing you know, there was like this big crackdown, all the major like clubs, Twilo, Limelight, Tunnel.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
they went in. I've been to Twilo a couple times, but I remember like not too far after they like raided it.
Yeah.
I was like, I think I had left New York by that time, but yeah.
And so like, I was reading the magazines because, again, we're talking predate social media. So there was magazines, Herb Magazine, Accelerator, you name it, Mix Mag. That's where Mix Mag started. Yeah. And so I was like starting to see it happen here. And the thing about North Carolina is there's a lot of farmland. So people, when they threw raves that weren't in clubs, it was somebody's granddad or grandparents or parents had farmland, a couple of acres, and we're getting down. Well, part of that rave act.
Best parties, really.
That was.
In a weird way.
So the situation with that was all of a sudden, like, if you did that and you got popped with a raid, like, you are responsible for every single drug there. Yeah. So who's going to risk their parents' land? Nobody. Yeah. So scene started drying up. And I was like, you know what? I want to take this further. So I was like, I'm going to go to school. I'm tired of it here. I need to go and grow up, So I was like, all right. Told my mom, I was like, hey, I'm moving to Orlando. She was like, oh my God. And I was like, yeah, I'm out in 6 months.
Wow. Pretty independent already. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So I packed up my pet scorpions, packed up my turntables and my records, my clothes.
Always the pet scorpions.
Yeah. That's a whole, we'll talk about that offline.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, and I drove down to Orlando and I went to Full Sail. And that Orlando is where I was able to apply what I've learned. The cool thing about Orlando was at that time, house music was still kind of like under the radar because breaks was really big. Yeah. If you like breaks, Icy and Baby Ann. They ran Orlando. And then you had the trans people who was like Sandra Collins, Kimball Collins.
Man.
That's Orlando.
Yeah,
Orlando
it is.
And we're talking peak time 2001, 2002. So it's it's going on like this. So house was still kind of underground. So when I was finding spots, people were like, oh yeah, there's house music here, and I'm like, oh, okay, and I go in and playing breaks. I'm like, this is not house. I'm like, okay, where's like the techno? Oh, there's techno here, and it's like gabber.
It's
and I'm like,
right.
So I was like,
harder trance and whatnot.
52 beats a minute. I don't
exactly.
know what the fuck that is.
So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just stay indoors until I graduate, and then we'll figure it out from there. So I would just like practice, and and then I would just do my homework. Once I graduated, though, I found a spot called AKA Lounge, and I went in there, and they were like playing like Miguel Miggs, Cascade, old school Cascade, not this whatever, but like San Francisco, like West Coast house. They were playing like some Jack in, and it was just like,
that's nice,
some different.
Okay, this is what I know.
Yeah.
So I got in good with the crew there, Kismet crew, and so they were like, "Oh, you play?" And so they were like, "Oh, we have a radio station, and we'll have you come play on there." I was like, "Okay, cool." So I go and play, and they're like, "What is this?" Because I'm coming from the north.
Yeah,
I'm bringing Chicago. I'm bringing that Philly. We banging. You know what I'm saying? But we grooving. And they were like, "You're different. Come run with us." And so that was my entrance into Orlando. And then just started playing gigs all over. And next thing you know, Ovum stopped their street team internship. They were like, "But we don't want you to stop doing what you're doing. So we're going to sign you to a company that we know out in Chicago. And, we'll have them reach out to you." So I was like, oh, so I, kind of got down on myself because I was like, ooh. But
what did you say, Downey? Do you mean you were questioning your confidence, or
well,
what was the?
I mean, when you have that big backing, right?
You're like, am
You
I
know what I
really
mean?
this
Like,
good? Or
am I that good? Or has this all been a dream? Like now the
Yeah.
internship's going away. That's all I've known.
it's a healthy modesty, though.
Right? So
Yeah.
you stay humble in the game.
You do.
Well, sure enough, I got an email and it was like the CEO of Large Music, which is out of Chicago. And if you know Large Music, that's Roy Davis Jr.
Yeah.
That's Mark Farina, Miguel Miggs.
Yeah.
Mark
That's
Farina, yeah,
like
big names.
Very
Mark
impressive,
Grant,
man.
Dennis Ferrer,
Oh,
Yeah.
you name it. And they were like,
Legends right there.
hey.
really? Yeah.
So Mike from Ovum reached out to us. You want to do this? And I'm like, absolutely. I'm playing your record. So they were like, great. Well, we're going to send you some records. And then we need you to meet us at Winter Music Conference in a couple of months because you're going to help us put on our big party down there. And I'm like, what? So I became the CEO's like right-hand man when it came to like Miami stuff. But I didn't understand like why. And then all of a sudden we were doing these parties at Crooked Bayou in Orlando, which was like the spot. And one night we had Mr. V and there was a table that was kind of in the back because the place was small. And there was this guy like sitting back there and everybody was crowded around talking to him and like kind of, partying. I'm kind of like looking and this guy is like, that was Jask. Jask runs Tampa, Hyde Park. So Jask is like, Jazz. Jask is the man.
Yeah.
I didn't know that he lived that close. So then we started talking. He was like, come to Hyde Park on Fridays and come hang out.
Wow.
So I would drive an hour to go to Tampa because he would have like Andy Caldwell. He'll have Miguel Miggs, Lisa Shaw, like any and everybody, Frankie Boise, like all these people. And you're like, what? I mean, it was like all the beautiful people, right? You know what I mean? Like it was like one of those parties.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that propelled me to start going to Miami. And I started like getting in good there and I started doing shows down there too. And like even the off season. So it was one of those times where things kind of lined up and being humble and doing the homework paid off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So being the dishwasher at a kitchen and then you work up to manager. And you really did the
it's
work,
like,
man.
That's what I try to tell people. Like you gotta, like this whole, I don't know what's up with what's
Talent
going on
alone
now.
Sometimes isn't enough.
It's not.
Not in the beginning.
You got to have that knowledge.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Read the manuscripts, peep the game. Like, I don't understand a lot of these DJs now. They have like 6 months under their belt and they want to be headlining your events.
Yeah, right.
Like, it's weird.
And you got to put some time in and get to read the room, get to know the crowd, get to fine tune your style. But yeah, man, speak about that. I mean, what would you give new DJs? What kind of advice would you give the new DJs coming out in the scene right now, man?
Hot take Jones.
Well, hey,
don't be so fucking entitled. How about that out of the gate? Pardon my French.
I mean, like Bing Bong. Let's get into it, right? Let's have a real conversation about that. Here's one thing: if you have been playing less than 6 months, sit down and shut the fuck up. Period.
You're still pledging the frat.
Yeah, what you're telling me that you play right now, you're not going to sound like that a year and a half from now.
That's true.
Trust me. I guarantee you, because you're just getting your feet wet. And the fact of the matter that these cats are coming out now thinking because they play on their Twitch, your Twitch crowd is not an in-person crowd. You got to learn how to read a room. If you cannot handle an hour set without playing at 140 BPMs and don't understand how to play from 119 to 122, you got a problem. Because the thing is, you're so hyped up on, I'm going to be a headliner. You forgot the most important set of the entire night is opening. That is the most important set. You set the tone.
Yep.
When people walk in, they're like, okay, walking around, gossiping.
This is chill.
This is how's everybody? They want to, grab their first drink, say what's up to their people, talk about the week.
Yeah.
So you've got all of that to work around.
Yeah.
Then on top of that, you got the bartenders who's trying to stretch out because they know it's going to be a busy night. You got to get their attention. So now you've got to build this room with layers. So how the hell are you going to make a cake without flour? It's important.
Right.
And that's the problem. And then on top of that, before you even get to that point, how the hell are you going to play this music and don't know the history of this music? Like, that's a problem to me. Like, you got people out here right now in North Carolina, in the Triangle, you know who you are. And they are, I know a lot about music. And then you look at their history of their catalog, and it only goes back to like 2015. I'm like, dude, do you even get what I'm like? Have you ever realized what disco is?
Right.
I wasn't around, I wasn't a thought when mass production came out with Cosmic Lust. That was 1976. My parents were still getting down. Mm-hmm. But guess what? I can play that right now and blow up the room.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I done the homework.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I try to tell people, do you even know why we even have this music?
Right.
They'll tell you, oh yeah, well, like, wasn't there like a disco demolition? Oh yeah, but do you even know why that happened? That was part of it. Really, it was a whole thing of that radio DJ actually being slightly racist, and people were blowing up records, and they were like, we don't want to hear those black people say soul music. So let me get this straight. You're trying to tell me you're doing this and don't understand that this all came out of people not being able to afford. Why do you think Boiler Room has its name? Why do you think people throw parties in basements? Because that's where people couldn't go to Manhattan.
Yeah.
If you were poor, it didn't matter what color you were.
You can't get in Studio 54 all the time. You had to go do your own thing.
Exactly. Block parties. You want to know why block parties happen?
Yeah.
That's why they happen. Because people were impoverished, and guess what? They had what they call rent parties. That's where the block party came from. That's where Cool Herc came from.
Yeah, that's right. And I remember those things too. Back in the days, man, we would have block parties. Okay, somebody's house party. You know what I'm trying to say? And just crowded, hot, no AC and all that stuff. It was the best.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me that you want to do this and don't have that type of knowledge. Like, it helps.
Yeah, I mean, it does help with getting to understand what makes people want to party, right? I mean, because, you kind of have, all right, I'm just going to go and play music, but you got to read the room, right? And you got to get the people moving.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's what it comes down to. No matter what you're going to play, I mean, you start playing something, you switch it up.
Yeah.
If it's not going to be, you know what I'm saying? And once that works, you go with that formula, right? What do you do to prepare your sets?
So for me to prepare my sets, usually unbeknownst to some people, I'll go to the venue if I've never been to that venue. And I don't go when it's a club night. If it's a bar or something like that, I'll go on a regular night.
A scouting mission.
Yep. Pat the lady in the car. Let's go. We're going to go grab a drink.
Mm-hmm.
She don't even know why we're going there.
Yeah.
I just heard about the place.
That's cool.
And then what I do is I go in there. I look around. I'm like, okay, all right. Check out that sound system if there's one that I can see. If there's not one, that means somebody's bringing one. Okay, great. All right. But let me get the acoustics because I got my degree in sound engineering and recording arts. So let me get the acoustics in here. What's happening? How are these drinks? What is the bartender's attitude? How is the door person's attitude? How are these people feeling in here? Because all of that will play into how I'm going to play. Because you've got to, like, if your bartender is a nasty bartender, rude all the time, guess what? Ain't nobody gonna want no drinks. So guess what? Ain't nobody gonna be really feeling
buzzy and chilling. Right?
Ain't nobody gonna be trying to let loose.
Yeah, let loose.
And then everybody's gonna be stiff.
Right.
So now I gotta work through that.
Yeah.
So
there's layers, like
there's
you said.
layers.
There's a fuck ton in your brain, which is amazing.
I'm very
educational.
And then I go back, and then it's like, okay, now I pull up all these tracks, and I'm like, all right, what time slot am I playing? All right, bet. Okay, who's playing before me? And that person playing before me, I study them.
Yeah.
I listen to their mixes online. I study them because I'm going after them. I need to make sure, like, they're going to leave me in the right spot. Am I going to transition well? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who's playing after me if there's somebody playing after me?
Yes.
You know?
Right.
So that's what I do.
Right.
Yeah.
And just dig in.
Then after that, you go home and you just become a mad scientist and be like, all right, this is it. Bam. Do you like just get a pool of records and say, all right, this is what I'm going to play, and then just go in, or you just...
Ever since I've been DJing, I never know what I was going to be playing. And I'm about to be DJing for 24 years. I know the first maybe 2-3 songs.
Where you're going to start.
After
like
that,
the vibe you probably want to set, right? Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. It's like, if I'm headlining, like, there's already a vibe that's set.
Yeah.
If the opening DJ does their job.
Right.
Again, opening sets are important.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like you kind of already know, but it's like at the same time, now I'm taking over at a high energy time.
Right. Yeah.
You got to go in. So I know this. So what I do is I'm like, okay, I get a bunch of tracks and I try to make sure there's a flow, and then there's a way that I can take it where I want to go. You know what I mean? And so this could be various things, you know. But I'm a type of person like, you know, I can play across the board different ways. So it just allows me to have that mobility to do that, you know. So I just try not to go in and be like, this is the set I'm going to play because it sounds programmed.
Any notable like parties in the past that you say, yeah, that was notable in my mind, you know, ever?
Jeez. I'm an old man.
Is that tough, or do you got 3? Or
I would say
venues and stuff that you prefer and whatnot. Or,
oh God. I can give you 2. First one was when I played when I was touring on West Coast Weekender, and the first time I played in San Diego. I played at Club Spin. Jask was upstairs. Justin Martin, me and him was playing at the same time. So I already knew, like, he's downstairs, main room. I'm in the middle. Like, it ain't gonna be like everybody's gonna be down there for Dirty Bird. Like, this ain't
right.
Well, sure enough,
word got out.
I'm probably like, it was a 2-hour set, and I'm probably like 45 minutes in, and I'm looking up, and this room is packed.
Yeah.
I mean, Osunlade was over in the corner.
God.
Like,
Jesus.
it was like some major headliners was up in there, like, and I'm just like,
Marshall.
let's just go.
Yeah.
Drinking Patron, like, let's just go. And it was just kind of one of those things where it was like my introduction to playing like in San Diego, in California, because I've always played in Mexico at that time a lot, but like I never played in California. So to play in SoCal and to be like, people were like, what is going on?
Wow.
I was like, okay. The second gig that stood out to me, more home, it was the first time that me and Nugs as Sound Cartel played. Like, we were playing in Chapel Hill, but we broke in as guests at Mosaic. And there was one particular night where DJ Feinberg and Keith Ward were like, we're going to take the inside. You guys take the patio. And we were like, bet. And when I tell you, I never seen a night like that at Mosaic. It was literally one person in, one person out, starting at 9:30 until like 3 a.m.
It was like 2011, maybe.
This was probably about like 2011, yeah. Because you remember that was when, like,
I mean, I wasn't there for that night. I don't think it sounds so memorable.
No,
but
I think you were around. You were definitely around.
I was around.
Yeah.
I remember going to Mosaic.
I didn't really meet you right away, but I mean, I just remember that you and Nugs always, what a tandem. And then, Keith, of course, and so many greats. And shout out to Samad, man.
Yeah, Samad.
That's my employer.
You're
He's chilling in Italy, but thank you, Samad, for making Raleigh scene. You were at the epicenter, and then you were.
Mosaic?
Yeah. I mean, it was a special time. But I don't want to interrupt your story. That sounds fucking awesome.
That night, I mean, it was just, people just wouldn't stop. I mean, it was just like, the music was that real.
So we got 2011 around that time frame, because we were Mosaic, downtown Raleigh. Okay, in case you didn't know, Mosaic is not there anymore, but downtown, that was one of the probably few spots down in downtown Raleigh, right? So you guys were there tearing it up. I remember going in there once or twice. I remember I left my wallet in there one time. I went with Charlene, and I went and left my credit card. I left not my wallet, I left my credit card at the bar. Next day, I'm like, yo, I forgot my credit card at the bar. They just overcharged me whatever I was buying. I was like, whatever, man. Just give me my card back. But I remember that. So tell us more about what happened around those years.
Oh man, so I had just moved back from Chicago with 2009. I told Nugs and Slipstream, Chris, I was like, I'm coming home, and they were like, oh, I was like, you got to understand though, like, I've been in Chicago. Chicago was where I learned how to play.
Tell us about that, Chicago.
Chicago,
man.
If somebody
I've
called
never
me,
been to Chicago.
Dude, if somebody called me right now and was like, yo, we'll buy you a house in Chicago, I would be like, yo, this is over. I got to go pack.
Yeah.
Because Chicago, when I got there, the first thing was it broke me down to the amoeba, right? Like, I thought I was going to be able to come play that housey stuff that I was playing in Orlando. No, I learned real quick. Quick.
This is Chicago.
Wow. This is Chicago. This is Chicago.
This ain't Orlando.
This ain't that pretty boyness. Like, and the thing was, like,
you can do it all though, man.
Bermuda shorts, Bermuda.
This was like, you better get that blood back. And so being under Large Music and having like people that was like leaders for me and teachers like Roy Davis Jr., you know, like it was like, oh, okay, this is where we at. So Chicago, like being there, working at Large Music, like just my job alone, there's the CEO's desk, here's my desk.
Wow.
My job alone was just to convert all the catalog from 93 to 2000, at that time it was 2007, to convert all that stuff from DAT to MP3 and to send it out to TrackSource.
Right.
Whoa. So that's how I know the people who own TrackSource. Brian Tapper, John Julius Knight.
Shout out to
Sheldon
TrackSource.
Prince. Yeah, shout out to TrackSource all day.
Yep.
And that forces you to learn history too. Your gig, your job,
at that
so to
time,
speak.
To transfer everything to DAT is like when you used to record those tapes and stuff like that. Yeah, I had those.
That's neat, man.
And I mean, I was hearing tracks that had never seen the light of day. Like, that's the crazy part about it. Like,
that's a cheat code for
and I was like just sitting on the office floor and like, Carrie Chandler put this out? Like, like just losing my mind and being able to have access to that music and then like taking it home and playing it and then getting gigs in Chicago. It was a whole different thing. Like, North Side plays way different than South Side.
Wow.
South Side South Side's gritty. The first gig I played in South Side bombed.
Really? You had to go home and do your homework after that. Like, I'll be back.
Shout out to the Dayton game. If anybody in Chicago's listening to this, they know exactly the Dayton game, bro. That was a whole beast, and I bombed, and I didn't understand why. And I think what it was like I didn't understand how to play disco that well. That's what they want. They want jack tracks and disco.
Jack tracks. That's right.
And
house.
Like next thing you know, Mark Grant. Andre Harris, God bless your soul, and DJ Heather and Colette, and then they were like talking to me about it. And they were like, "Yeah, you gotta learn how to get up in there and like how to, and." Can
I briefly? Were you doing? One thing I want to say, you always have had to me the most charismatic, fun, all plugged in. He moves so fluid. It's like watching. A professional breakdancer, but it's because you're into it. It comes naturally. But was that a catalyst to that, or were you already being Marshall with your passion on the decks?
I mean, in Orlando, I was like myself. You know what I mean?
Like dancing, the guy I always see and love. Who's just like, look at that passion, man.
Because like I knew how the tracks made me feel when I bought it.
Chicago didn't do it per se. It's more
Chicago.
You
definitely enhanced it.
It enhanced it. Fair enough.
It was like there was a spark there in Florida, but Chicago was definitely like the barrels of gasoline.
Got it.
Because, like I said, like when you started seeing what you're doing and understanding that, when you are able to, you just walking around the city and then lo and behold, you look up and you're at the doors of where the warehouse was.
Oh yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I am literally standing at the door of a furniture place where the warehouse was.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
When I
landmark, bro.
Yeah. I mean, being able to go to Boom Boom Room on Thanksgiving and actually 2 times in my life, the only 2 times in my life, to catch Frankie Knuckles, to hear Frankie Knuckles live all night.
Wow.
7 hours.
God.
Yeah.
Like
when they had long sets.
That's amazing.
So I was coming back to North Carolina with all of that. And I told them, I was like, what are we going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Because if y'all ain't got nothing, we gonna make something.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, say less. And so we sat down, and that was how Sound Cartel was made. And we started trying to do these parties at Tallulah's in Chapel Hill. Shout outs to Tallulah's all day. Go get some food there all day. That place, I love that place. And I remember the first 6 months, me and Nugs had like each show is like 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
And I never forget, this is when I smoked cigarettes. Me and Nugs, we were sitting in the car one night. And I was like, dude, this is something, we're not doing this right. It was cold. And he had a 525, I think it was a 2001 525 Beamer. And we were smoking cigarettes, we were talking about it. And he was like, by the time I crank this car, we're going to say less. This conversation's over. After that, next thing you know, we redialed and programmed the way we're doing things. And that's when we started packing out Tallulah's. And that's when Raleigh people were coming to Chapel Hill because they started hearing about it. And then that's when it was like these people were already going to Mosaic. And that was like, like Michelle and that crew.
Yeah.
And they were like, yo,
great crew.
You guys should come over here and play at Mosaic, meet Feinberg and Keith Ward. And then that's how that started. And then before you know it, we had that night, we were guessing, like spotting there. We stopped Tallulah's and we started this night called Sultry. And that was one of the biggest deep house nights in the Triangle for like probably about like 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And
there you go. This
massive.
is some Raleigh history for you guys.
Yes.
Because nobody's gonna know this. This is documented right here in the Vinyl Underground.
Yeah. So
where was Sochi located?
It was at Mosaic. It was every third Friday.
Yeah, the kind of name
got it.
said.
We would turn the lights down as low as possible and light candles on each
Lighting
table.
was sick there, by the way.
Yeah.
It was. It would be up to date
bar,
anywhere. Even though the lounge, all the Moroccan pillow, it was.
Oh my
perfect.
God, it was so great. And then
It
hookahs
was.
outside, and we would just play like deep house, and like just like we're playing like all the gems. You know what I mean? Like from Dennis Ferrer to Carrie Chandler to Margaret Grace to. I mean, Joey Negro, like we're doing it all, who is now Dave Lee. So we were just doing it all.
Yeah.
I mean, from Afro when like Black Coffee was not who he was, but we were getting these tracks.
Yeah.
Ian Friday, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was packed. I mean, that was the sound of the Triangle.
Right.
You know, Deep House, and then down the road, shout outs to Bass Bunny, Robin.
They've been out that long. Yeah,
Robin was at Black Flower. So that was Glenwood. You had your harder stuff over here. Yeah. You go down here, and you had us.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to 5 Star too. I mean,
5 Star,
Wicked Smile, 5 Star. I mean,
Ninth
Benders. Thank you.
Shout out to Ninth Wonder all day, Little Brother.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
that was hip too.
Wonder, right?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
So you had this whole thing that was going on in Raleigh, and then meanwhile in Durham, I always kept my roots there. Durham is always gritty.
Yeah.
So you had like Shut Up and Dance, which was like Shut Up and Dance was the pre-era of the floor.
Yes.
So that was.
We were just talking to Adam about that last week. He gave us a little rundown. Tell us some more about that, man.
I know.
So
the Durham scene.
Durham has always been Durham, right? The reason why people love Durham is because Durham has been DIY. We was always the bad kids of the Triangle. Right? You're going to get shot, you're going to Durham. You're like, yeah, you probably if you get out of line. That's just what it is, right? But the art is because like everything was abandoned, and so like you could do graffiti anywhere. People were not downtown. Downtown life was Brightleaf Square. So that was all the like, what was going on there. But like, graffiti, music.
It's true.
You had the Power Company. You had Power Company. You had the Palace.
Power Company.
You had
that's the one that Adam, the Power Company guy.
Yeah, Power Company, which is now Teasers. You had the Palace. You had Wonderland. You had the Armory. I saw Goldie at the Armory.
Oh, dude.
So you had parties like that was going on. But like that was always Durham. And so Shut Up and Dance, they were like doing their thing, and then the floor spawned out of that. So right as Mosaic was ending, because Feinberg, he was having a kid, he moved out west. And so I was always still in Durham, and I would go back and like hang out at the floor. The floor was always visiting Mosaic every once in a while. So they knew me. So they were like, come guest, play. So I would just go there, play, but I would play, I was playing Charlotte and Greensboro stuff because Mosaic's done, right? Well, it just so happened, like packing out the floor with them. And then all of a sudden they were like, they want to have a meeting with me. And I'm like, something wrong? Like, what did I do? And they were like, no, we want you to join us. So that's when I became part of the floor.
Right.
So that was, Durham. And, we were doing things at Arcana. There was not the fruit until so Arcana, what happened was we were packing that place out. And so, we kind of were like, okay, Morgan was like, that's Strider. So he was like, I'm helping out somewhere at this place, and I'm going to try to see if we can do some shows there. I was like, cool. And everybody's like, oh, what are you talking about? He was like, it's this warehouse called The Fruit. And we were like, oh, it's an art space. So we're going to try to see what we can do. Fruit was still like the top main floor was full of like just art and furniture. So you had to move things to one side of the whole place in the theater to make sure you had space. So we decided we were going to start doing shows there.
What year was this about? Just to remember, was that like 2015?
It's about 2015, 2016.
Yeah.
And so we started doing shows there, and we did a Halloween show. So there was no DJ booth. The scaffolding was the DJ booth. Okay, so the yellow scaffolding. We put the QSCs
weight limit 7.
on top of the poles. So that was like,
oh wow.
And we got subs from CLS. And we had, that was the DJ booth. And we set it. We had to put a paint blanket down because we didn't want to get the equipment messed up. That was it. And that was the main room. And
those are early fruit stages.
Very much. Yeah. So we did some Halloween parties. The first one we did, there was a Duke party, private party the night before. And they had left all this alcohol, and we did a whole community thing too. We were just like, all right, well, if you want to come, like, we have a keg and some alcohol, please just refill it for the next people. We didn't know what was going to happen. And then all these people started coming, and it was like, people were just bringing alcohol. So there was like all this stuff going on because it was an art space and it was a private party. So it was like all these people. We were like, okay. So, then once again, Strider gets a wild hair up his butt, and he's like, we should probably do something in the basement.
Yeah.
And I was like,
what? Basement was iconic.
And he was like, yeah, let's just, and we were all like, all right. So, talk to the owner, and the owner was like, as long as you clean it up.
Yeah.
And that was, the fruit basement was not what you see now.
Yeah. No, right.
It was wide open.
Yeah.
Shout out to River. She had the water station. She created our own water station.
Wide open, like wide open how?
So when you go downstairs, right? So you go downstairs, and if you came down from the side stairs, like when you're in the main room.
From the main room, right?
Yeah. So those like doors, that was not there.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was not there.
Little segments.
It was wide open.
So those doors that go to those little rooms.
Yeah.
I got it.
That was wide open.
So they put those walls up.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought those.
And so we had a water station that River made. And
that's still there, the water station. I think it's by the bathroom, is it? That's different. Oh, okay.
When I tell you nothing was there, nothing. We had a water station. It was literally a table with a tablecloth, plastic cups, and one of those like straight up like
with water
coolers. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
There you go.
Say cooler.
Yeah. We built the DJ booth like we did with Moog. Built it out of center blocks and wood, old doors, painted them.
Yeah.
And that was it. And that was the reason there was something. That was the reason the fruit is what it is, the basement. And if you doubt me, you can at me, and I will tell you about it. Like,
there's a lot of iconic parties I know, but that happened down to Fruit, man. I mean, I remember just going down there one time when I first discovered the Fruit, and there was something. I was in the main room upstairs. I forgot what it was, but I went downstairs, and first time like really exploring the place, and I come down, I'm like, this is crazy. It's like a freaking dungeon.
Yeah, yeah.
But shout out to the Fruit because they're still doing their thing, man. And that's an iconic spot, hopefully for Durham.
Yeah.
And Durham is, they've got now, thankfully, they have a lot of other stuff popping up.
Yeah,
which I'm very
really
grateful for. And I know that did you get the Dance Gruv Radio started in Durham?
So Dance Gruv Radio started actually when I was in Orlando, pretty much, and I just moved to Chicago, so I was in that transition phase.
Yeah.
So Sirius XM, they had a station called The Movement. They played nothing but real house music. It was amazing, right? So you're hearing like live at Ministry of Sound, Roger Sanchez, when Roger was Roger, right? And you had, it'll be like, we're live in Ibiza and be like, Miguel Miggs and like, so it was just real house music and like, it's Masters at Work with Barbara Tucker live, and you're just like in New York City, and you're like, oh my God, so like you were making it a mission to be at home with your peoples, cracking,
really tuning in,
cracking in your tall boys, and you listen, or you pre-gaming before you go out. Well, one day, like normal, you tune in, it was not there. Next thing you know, you're hearing like this, like this whole trancy top 40 dance. You're like, what is this? And so like that
was the new pop music variant that was going to come online, and now it's
there. You go.
Stockings at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Ladies, you look lovely, but
child, that's a whole thing in itself.
It's subjective, people.
Yeah, that's a whole thing. Do you, boo? Do you?
Yeah, do you?
So and so on the forums. So again, this is kind of when forums were still. This was no Reddit, but it was kind of the Reddit for the ravers. People are like, "What is this?" Like Deep House page. People are like, "This is bull." So me and my homie Marco, shout outs to Marco. He was in IT and he DJ'd, and I had all the connects, and I'm a DJ, so we were just kind of like, we can keep complaining and bitching, or we could do something. And that's always been my motto in life. Like, yo, if there's nothing, you can make it. You know what I mean? Right. So we did it. And this was pre-internet, so we had to use Winamp and Real Player. So shout outs to the PC days.
Winamp and Real Player on a Windows, Windows
things. That would be
Windows 95 machine.
Dude, that was Millennium.
Windows 2K.
Yeah, 2007. I think that was Millennium. ME. Was it ME or XP? One of those two.
I was doing cover shit
I think it was
too.
ME or XP. One of them.
XP, yeah.
Give or take one.
But and so we were like, what's the worst gonna happen, right? So we called up a bunch of our friends who were like, respectful in their areas. They had names, and so then we started doing this thing, and like people started tuning in, and we were like, oh, this is cool. It's our friends,
Yeah.
So we had a guy that we knew that lived in Japan, and so things were taking off, and he was DJing with us, so he started spreading the word. So we started getting this like little international kind of thing going on. Then Winter Music Conference 2010, I got a wild idea, and I was like, yo, Marco, do you know any like, I don't know, real estate people down there? He was like, yeah, I know a few. I was like, hey, find out if they do like any rentals and we can all like rent a big house for the weekend. He was like, well, I live here. I was like, I understand what I'm talking about for everybody that's coming out.
Yeah.
Sure enough, we got this big house right on the water, the Causeway water. And we were like, it was 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, pool, hot tub, pool table, and a whole bar.
Wow.
So all my people was in Orlando. I flew into Orlando, and the catering company I used to work for, I told him, I was like, well, we're going to have a big barbecue. He was like, all right, well, just tell me what you need, and I'll get it all ordered for you. So we ordered probably $400 worth of food. And we're just going to throw a party. So we was like, Dance Gruv the original.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it was.
That's what it was. We were like, we're going to do a Dance Gruv party.
Yeah.
I called Jask, XL. We had Pablo. So it was a bunch of like major headliners and then major people that came through. And next thing you know, we had this massive party. And like Nugs, because he's from Miami, he was like, yo, me and my peoples are going to roll up. We're pulling up in a yacht. And I was like, whatever. Sure enough, leave it to Nugs. They pulled up in a yacht.
Nice.
And it was just a massive party. And that really put us on the map. People started telling other people. People started seeing early, this is kind of like still like late MySpace days and like early. Yeah. So people started seeing things. Plus we were doing like all the stuff we already done in Orlando. So things started getting out. And then the guy in Japan, that's when the earthquakes happened. So we decided to do a fundraiser event. And we ended up raising I think we raised close to like $5,000, but we talked to all our friends in the industry, do an hour mix. And then we had Bati Saltava. He had some people, and he actually reached out to this guy in South Africa. And he was like coming out with the name for something that was Black Coffee.
Oh.
Jesus. Whoa.
Nice.
We were like, yeah.
My goodness.
Right at that time, that was Turn Me On when Boosie just came out. We were like, absolutely. Boom. So next thing you know, like all these people, and that's what happened. Now, at this point, we are 3 years in, and then all of a sudden, Marco had to his IT company kind of took off, and that server we were on, we can't use it. Data breach laws.
Yeah.
So we had to shut it down.
All over again.
And so shut it down, and everybody was like sad.
That is a sad time.
But we served our purpose. We proved to ourselves and to others. Make something happen. You can make something out of nothing. Shut up and make it happen.
That's right.
So time goes on.
All the lesson.
People start hitting me up. Man, I remember the Night Train, dude. I remember your show every Thursday, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, it was good times. So then I was like getting nostalgic, and I was like, well, the internet's changed now. I need to make a list. So I made a list of everything we need, and then we relaunched. I took it over and relaunched in 2015.
The rebirth.
And that was a rebirth. And
you were here. You were here in North Carolina at that time.
I was in Raleigh living. And now we're pretty much 45 DJs from all over the world.
45,
We're out of France, Italy, UK, Mexico. I've got, I got Australia, Canada. Yeah. So we're at about 6-7 different countries.
Are these all pre-recorded sets?
So like some of them are pre-recorded, some of them are live.
Okay.
Obviously because of just time zone differences. But a lot of it is a lot of like major up and coming DJs and a lot of major artists.
Right.
And so we pretty much just develop it that way. And it's playing 24/7. There's always music. We always like post up the live shows when they come out. But like there's always music playing. So if there's not a live show, there's still music playing, and it'll play like previous episodes of people's shows, and it's always in rotation.
Wow.
Right.
And so then it was like, we started doing the parties here, transmissions. That's when I was moving back to Durham, did it in a surf club. And those were massive. Those were like 300 people day parties. That was just, it was stupid. And then, started this whole thing called Wave. And that's just recently, that started like pretty much late last year.
Right. Is that the party that you're throwing down at the the hotel?
The bank vault?
Yeah. The bank vault,
Yeah, so we're doing parties inside an actual bank vault.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I've seen images. That's
it's dark in there too, like dark.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like you're in a
you're in a vault. Like these walls are people had deposit money and stuff like that. And
if you haven't checked out my man Wave's party,
check out Wave. Wave is dope. We got another one coming up probably late September, mid-October. So I'll be on the lookout. Like, but yeah, those are great. 21C is a great staff. Nice. Shout outs to my man John. Like, love that guy. Like he gets it. He really does. He really gets the whole thing, and to be able to like our whole vaporwave look, and it's a whole Art Deco museum. Like we just
it's a nice museum.
It really is.
There. I've had some corporate events up in there, but really nice spot. And you got a few things happening around town. I mean, I know you got the waves, you got Neptune's coming up, I think.
Yeah. So tomorrow, I'll be in. I don't want to say it's Nomad. And Raleigh. Yeah, Nomad and Raleigh with
I'm glad
Kinetic.
y'all are pumping that kind of should enhance.
Yeah, shout out to Kinetic Audio, man. Like, Kat and Johan are figuring that life out.
And Nomad's great,
tomorrow?
but I mean, I like that y'all are going to be there. It just kind of elevates certain things in my brain anyway.
Yeah, so it's shout out to them. It's just going to be the first one, and I want to make sure that it's successful because they're really good people what they're doing.
Yeah.
The next event, so that's going to be Friday night. So Friday is the floor. We're at Pony Source in Raleigh. We're the official morning choir pre-party.
Yeah.
For their event.
Heard about that. Adam was telling that's a great idea.
The 22nd of August, guys. It's pre
22nd.
It's cool little ambiance too. It's big.
Oh yeah.
Inside, outside. Yeah.
Oh yeah, big things. And then Saturday, Neptunes.
I think we'll see
with
there
Germania and Miss Ashley.
I know. It's awesome, man. 3 of y'all? Shit.
Yeah.
Are y'all doing a certain sound that night, or is it because I kind of know generally. I mean, is there a goal? Is it more
I think
disco-y driven, or is it more
getting down,
collective, whatever?
Just getting down. Good
is good.
Good is good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a Dance Gruv Radio takeover because all of us are.
Shout out to Martin Wheeler.
He's
got I'm glad he reopened that place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. And then I've got let's see. Then we got Ruby's, the floor. That's on the 29th of August.
Got some coming up September as well, right?
September, I'm playing for Space Camp with playing it with the boss lady, Move Tone.
She's great too. I haven't seen her in a while.
Special guest is Gene Ferris, which I haven't seen Gene. I've known Gene for a long time. Yeah. Chicago. So it's going to be an honor to play with Gene. Little fact, Gene played basketball for St. Augustine here in Raleigh.
No shit.
He did, yes. Yeah.
Right on, man.
There you go.
Also known for stellar track athletes.
Yeah.
There you go.
And coaches.
There you go. So, and then we got another Izakaya sessions, which we do at Dashi, the floor.
That's neat too.
Yeah, that's dope.
I was telling Adam how cool I liked your image you posted. That's badass.
Dude, that's
a
dope.
poster.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's such a great vibe to be able to do that. That's on the 19th as well, so that'll be before Gene. So we'll be partying and hopping to the next one.
Dang, you're busy, man.
Yeah. So, but that's September 19th as well. So yeah.
Yeah, we were speaking to Adam too last. He was here last and stuff. Just how you guys came about with the floor and everything. What you guys are doing Arcana and the new place at the Akashi is called
Dashi.
Dashi, right? Dashi, out in Durham. And yeah, that's what's up, man. I see that's that's sending a good vibe,
Yeah,
a little chillness and whatnot.
Yeah, sophistication, you know.
Exactly.
More places need that. That's
that's
kind of
true,
the
man.
European way, and we got
doesn't
some
always
that
have
do
to be
it,
driving and hard and stuff
Background.
like that.
Like we play a lot of like chill stuff. We're probably like in the 117 to 118 range. The highest we go is like 120. So we're playing more like broken beats.
You kind of groove more to that too.
Yeah.
I was speaking to Kenley about that too long ago. It's like back in the day, when you heard like some of that old school house music, it was up there down, 119, 118. People actually could dance and stuff like that. So now it's just gotten too fast.
Correct.
Man,
It's so aggressive. You know what I mean? Like, and I ain't nothing wrong with that. Like, again, I used to
restraint.
it has its place.
It has a place.
It does.
but
That's true.
Everything ain't got to be that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like we're doing stuff like that, and then also, like I said, Arcana is just great to be back at Arcana. Like shout outs to Arcana. Like
Arcana's a nice space.
Arcana, if you have not gone there, like go down there, get Ancho Queen. Arcana in Durham is like the only underground bar. Like seriously, it's underground. That place. Shout out to them, man. I love them. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much where we're at.
Yeah,
That's what we're
it's
doing.
amazing. All this, everything you said, just is so cool.
Yeah, man.
Ruby stuff too. Every now and then. I think.
Yeah, I'm still doing Rubies. I mean, we're all over the place, and it's an honor and it's a blessing, and it's it's humbling at the same time to be in a situation where people really want to like hear your sound and appreciate the hard work you're doing. And for us, it's about that.
Yeah.
Because it's never been about us behind the decks, it's cool, but like it's all about y'all getting down. You know what I mean? Like we spent this hard time.
It's about an experience.
Yeah, it's an experience. Like it's not about like, oh, you gotta. It's like, yo, you worked all week. Okay,
let your hair down.
Yeah.
Let your hair down.
You're in the customer service business.
Sweat it out. Because
let go of that frustration.
Yeah, because again, like I don't know if that girl is celebrating like her boyfriend just told her they're getting engaged. I don't know if this dude just lost his job. I don't know if this person is about to move. I don't know what's going on. But what I do know is that for 5 hours, however long the party is, my job and the people that's behind the desk, we need to make you forget about what's happening outdoors. It's just us right now. So whatever you want to do, as long as you ain't hurt nobody, get down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And make sure you tip your bartenders. Like, they got to pay bills. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
That's it.
Yeah. That's an important note. Tip your bartenders.
Tip your bartenders.
Yeah, and 20%'s been the new baseline. So like for you fuckers that are no excuse.
Just the baseline,
being
right?
French, but in America
not
don't
15
count
anymore. This is 2025.
20 plus. Especially if they're just mid. Like it's fucking simple, man. I kind of get defensive about that stuff.
No, it's okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
you should be
show
because
up, man.
that's how you keep
You're
the lights
curating
on.
their little mini 2-hour vacation. You're doing the same thing with your making our butts move. That is the same kind of therapy as traveling in a way.
I mean, the thing is that you got to keep the lights on at the venue, right?
So all of the above.
Like, stop
every layer.
If you can't tip your bartenders, like, don't go out. Right. Ain't nothing. You can catch us on the next one.
Right.
It's fine.
Right.
But, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if you got an issue with that, you can at me. You can at me. It's fine.
They can at you where?
They can at me at Disco Sapien on Instagram.
I know that name too.
You
Disco
can
Sapien.
find me on Facebook, Marshall Jones. There you go. And you can go to dancegruv.net. So there you go.
Check out dancegruv.net for all your latest, most iconic, music DJ sets that my man puts up on there. Yeah,
the final boss, as was a cat that said that.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
I
don't know if you saw the show with Kinetic Audio. Yeah,
Shout out
we
to
didn't put it out. We'll put it out next week, but it's funny because we're talking to Cat and stuff like that. She's like, we had Marshall. He's like the final boss. You meet at the Donkey.
That's pretty gangster,
you meet at the Donkey Kong game. You go through all these levels and whatnot.
He'll kill you 20 times. You might get him on the 21st.
Yeah, they had me like, what? Yeah, they just put a picture in my mind.
That's a great analogy.
You just put a picture in my mind. Now I'm like, is this like Streets of Rage 2, like Genesis?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? And that was quite a description. I was like, all right, that's what's up, man.
I'll take it. I appreciate it.
Shout out to Kinetic Audio.
Shout out to them. Like I said, man.
Those are my peeps.
I guess the last thing to say is just stay humble out there, people. If you're gonna come up in this scene, like, just realize like you're coming up in a scene, but ultimately you need to be focused on making a carbon footprint in the movement. Mm-hmm. It's bigger than you. It's always going to be bigger than you. It's going to be bigger than me. When I'm in a retirement home, I'll be eating mush and telling people these stories. Because there'll be some other kid who's be like, apparently Uncle Marshall has like some stories. Like, so just always realize that, work hard, and just get over yourself. Like, just stop. You don't need to be the center of attention. It's, like you don't have to do it for the gram. Just do it for the movement and you will get far. Really far. Yeah. That's it. That's all I can really tell people. Other than that, I mean,
hey man,
brush your teeth.
Yeah. Pretty wise.
Clean hygiene.
No, for sure.
Don't be on the dance floor musty. Clean hygiene.
But yeah, that's a good point. You say, you just, people are going to look back at the story and say, they can come right to the show, man. They can see your story and be like, when you're in the home, in the senior citizen home eating mush, you can come back to this episode and be like, that's my man right there.
Correct.
He did his thing.
Yeah.
He did his thing. But thank you for coming for the show, man.
Thank you guys for having me.
It's an honor, man. Marshall,
this
is fun.
You know what it is.
Finally, we got you here and, we chatted and I'm glad that you gave us a brief history of.
I learned even so much more.
Of course, we're
awesome.
sure the audience is gonna really enjoy, what they're hearing and the history of the sound of Raleigh with Mosaic and all these spots that you mentioned, man.
Yeah, really done a lot, man.
Yeah,
been part of a golden era.
It's
still going.
It's
getting
still
better.
going.
It's thriving more and more.
Yeah, I'm
and
shocked.
So,
it's growing so much.
You're still a kid too. Shit, you crammed in a lot early. So
God,
maybe it's easy for me to say because I'm older, but I'd say no. I don't mean that, but yeah, dude, you've done a lot, and we're grateful.
Yeah, thank you. I'm grateful too, and I appreciate everybody who supported me over the years, and all my teachers. You know who you are. Like, there's a list, long list, and
can't shout them all out, but
shout them all out, but you know who you are, and definitely. And thanks, Mom and Dad, because without you,
foundation.
Yeah, without you guys just humming music around like.
That's a ultimate cheat code. Having family that's into it, it seems to just grow better musically talented kids almost without fail.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? So see y'all soon. Do your thing. We out here.
Thank you again, my brother.
Thank you.
I
appreciate it.
All right. Yeah. Well, with that, guys, we'll end it off. And hey, Joe, bring that beat back.
Thanks for listening to the Vinyl Underground. If you love the vibe, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and share. Want to support the scene? Follow us on Instagram at CrowdControlNC and at the Vinyl Underground Podcast and at Tony Technique. Stay underground and we'll catch you next time on the Vinyl Underground.